Today we're going to be going up and then down again, Mount Tsukuba. There's no time to waste and I'm going to need my energy, so I grabbed a coffee at the vending machine out front of the tourist center. Finally, we're in. That was harder than I thought it would be. I forgot to mention this is hot. Not enough to burn you, but it's definitely hot and not just warm. So that part's nice, but it's also way too sweet and way too milky for my taste. Good thing I mostly bought it for the caffeine. Okay, you got me. Having said all that about energy, I did actually take the cable car up. In my defense, I'd been kinda poorly in the lead up to this trip, so we decided to cable car up and then walk down. And honestly, the cable car is a pretty cool experience. Aside from getting roasted alive, you also get to experience some kinda spooky tunnels. When you finally reach the top, this is the view you get to experience. The mountains in Japan are truly awesome, not just for looking at, but for looking from as well. It's too early to eat anything substantial, but I think we should get a little snack before we start walking. It might surprise you, but there are quite a few places to eat up here, from cafes to noodle bars. I went for the super touristy option, mochi dumplings on a stick, with a side of screaming children, which comes free whenever there is a school trip. Note, by the way, that when I call this a tourist snack, I mean Japanese domestic tourists were eating this all over the place. It seems to be like fudge in the UK, targeted at national tourists. Wow, really satisfying to chew, and it's fun to use your teeth to break through the skin it develops from being roasted. It's the savory version of marshmallows over a campfire. The sauce is thick, savory, salty soy, very little sweetness, and I'm not picking out any of the walnut. I've also got to tell you, the sign at the shop bigs this up as a scuba specialty. Almost anywhere you go though, you'll see these exact dango, and you'll see the same thick sauce being poured out of a plastic bag. To be clear, they're delicious and you should try them. The char especially is great. You might also think it's too salty on your first bite, but you'll realize the thick dango dumplings help counter that. Trust the ratio. Just making sure you know what you're buying, and don't get FOMO when you use Google Translate and think it's your only chance. With that in our bellies for energy, we did some exploring up, over, across, and around. Few people know this, but the older generations in Japan are absolutely insane and hardcore. We saw more than one totally ignoring the paths and just going everywhere. To be clear, this is the normal path we followed. The old guys were wild in. If like us you're going to go to the ropeway, you'll be greeted with this sight. Now, I believe it is all totally walkable. You don't have to use the ropeway, but I strongly recommend that you do because of this. It looks cool on video. It is literally stunning in real life. You will be awestruck. The only downside is the music and the taped messages that play over the speakers.
How was your time on Mount Tsukuba top area?
At the end of the short trip, you can buy souvenirs. There is a ropeway manaka and keiburu sabure, cable something. I don't know what it is, so I'm going with that. Also figured it would be a good idea to grab a drink for the way down. You can catch a bus from here, but what we're gonna do is walk from here to the tourist information center you saw at the very start of the video. As you can see, the melon float caught my eye. It's not on. But no dice. When we got back to Tsukuba city center, after a lovely walk through nature with basically no one around, it seems most people do take the bus from the end of the ropeway. Anyway, as a treat to make up for the loss of that soda, we grabbed a couple donuts as fast as we could because our train was about to leave, which is why there's no footage of Mr. Donut. Oh, I was expecting it to be crisp, but it actually seems to be choux pastry. This is a profiterole donut. It is just a ring-shaped profiterole. I think the chocolate might be letting it down a bit, though. It's that almost waxy kind of coating. The undipped part is much better, without that goop getting in the way of enjoying the texture of the pastry, which is lovely and delicate, without any of that sogginess you sometimes get with actual choux pastry profiteroles. We grabbed Pikachu's butt, but his head was also available, and I believe that was a filled donut. Now don't read too much into this, but I think the butt looks better. If you look it up, the head has weird shaped ears that just don't look like Pikachu. And at the same time, it doesn't look ridiculous enough that I'd buy it for joke value. To the fingers, it feels very dry and rough. Hopefully the inside's different. Very light and airy donut, though not quite as light as a Krispy Kreme. It is just the outside that has a sort of leathery quality to it, and it just gives it a slightly different chew. So great texture and even better flavor. The little crispy crunchy bits on top have that Jelly Belly buttered popcorn bean flavor that I've run into a couple times here. I'm not sure if it's meant to be buttered popcorn, and I haven't had Jelly Belly in a long time, but that's what it reminds me of. Shout out to the packaging, the art is very cute, and it presents the donut very well. Without the donut, it kind of looks like a child's car seat. Could wash it off and put a plushie in here. Back at the hotel room, I decided to try my Keiburu ka sabere, or sabere, not sure. I can read the kana, but I don't speak the language. Obviously cable car, but then I don't know what sabere is. It's a shame there's no cat on the cable car, because there is in fact a Mount Tsukuba cat mascot. My girlfriend bought some stickers of him. Don't know any kanji? Maybe it says something interesting. Second line on the yellow sticker is gozaimasu. Top line ends with a U. Maybe it just says thank you. And this is the 100th anniversary special. I don't think the Ropeway Manaka was anniversary edition. Ah, sabere, sable. It is not in fact some crazy thing I've never heard of before, it is French shortbread. Little bit disappointed. This is new to me though. The desiccant is a flat sheet. Unless this turns out to be delicious, I think I should have gotten the Ropeway Manaka. Crumbly but incredibly drying in the mouth. Sandy in a bad way. Tastes like it's trying to be buttery but doesn't get there, and instead primarily tastes of caramelized, almost burnt sugar. This is what I imagine Christmas cookies in prison are like. I should have gone for the Manaka. But there's always a Family Mart nearby, and we can sort of fix it. It's not the Ropeway Manaka, but it will have to do. And this one has ice cream. Oh, for anyone who doesn't know, Manaka is just that wafer that I believe is made from rice. Red bean filling is super standard. At a place called Chaology in Manchester, they serve one with red bean butter and salt, which is interesting. Too much butter when I had it though. Famimaru. I never thought about it, but I'd have guessed it was Famimato or something. I quite enjoy the diagrams on Japanese streets. Explaining the product to sell the product seems to be a major strategy. You know, presenting it almost scientifically. Two main chunks so I can split it to share. Quite the thick slice of ice cream. Looks like the red bean's just there for a bit of flavor and not so much texture. Despite being frozen, it does appear that moisture has leached from the filling into the wafer. It is not crispy at all. The ice cream is a very basic vanilla like I'd find back home, and it is not that whipped cream flavor you so often come across in Japan. Red bean just provides a bit of flavor, as I predicted. It's not great, but if there was more red bean, and the Manaka was crispy, and the ice cream was that whipped cream sort of vanilla, I know this would be god tier. Even just one or two of those tweaks would bump it up a lot. So after this, I decided to look around the hotel and... remember, it's the drink I wanted at Tsukuba, and it's 10 yen cheaper here. Finally, a true chance for redemption. Ice cream floats are one of the most appealing looking foods to me. Not even my top 10 to have, but always want it if I see it. Nuclear green, let's go. The cream soda flavor is spot on. The melon side of it barely tastes like melon. It's more like a generic, slightly fruity candy syrup. It's nice, especially while it's warm out, but not quite what I was hoping for. That is all for today though. I highly recommend Tsukuba as a day trip. Beautiful sights, and as hard a hike or as easy a hike as you want. Have you been there? Let me know down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Super Yummy Munchie Cats.